In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a website and host it using Webmin and two servers, one DNS server and the other web server. In the earlier videos, when I hosted the website, I used only one server. It acted both as a DNS server and a host server and a web server. Okay, now DNS server is responsible for the domain name, and web server is responsible to keep the contents of the website. As you can see here, these are my two servers. Both of them are running, and it will become quite cumbersome and slow if I had to work in these instances of instances of VMware workstation. That's why what I did is I opened my command prompt to actually, and I telnet to the servers. As there are two servers, uh, there are two command prompts and two telnets. Okay, now I'm going to consider my DNS server to be 192.168.80.201 and my web server to be 192.168.80.200, the one which we had been considering in our earlier discussion. So this is my web server, this is my DNS server. Okay, now let's start. So this is my web server 201 here, and this is my DNS this is my DNS server and this is my web server. Okay, now let's start. Okay, before you begin, go to a control panel, and if you're using host only connection, because I'm not on a LAN here, that's why I'm using host only connection. Let's fit into the screen. Actually, it's going a bit out of screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, if you're using host only connection like me, click on this VMware network adapter VMnet1, or if you're using VirtualBox, then you should click this one probably. I'm not sure because I've not tried it in VirtualBox. Okay, in VMware, click on this VMnet1 and this should pop up. Then click on properties, another window pops up. Then go to this Internet Protocol version 4, double click, and in my earlier tutorials I had been using only one server, as I said, and that acted both as DNS server and web server, and that's why for preferred DNS server I had this one, 192.168.80.200. But now in this tutorial, for this tutorial, my DNS server is 201, as I stated here. DNS server is 201, and that's why the DNS server here will also be 201. You should keep this in mind. We should change this, otherwise your web page will never open up because it won't be able to find the DNS server. It happened with me, that's why I took special note to mention it. Click OK, close. Then you don't need this anymore. Close it. Now let's open our browser, any browser of your choice. I'm using Chrome. Okay, it fits in screen now. My net connection is off. Okay, some of you said that for Webmin net connection is required. No, for Webmin net connection is not required. It uses your Linux server, that serves the pages. Now if you remember our previous tutorial, what I said was first you have to go and first you have to go to servers and then bind the DNS server. So first step is to set up the DNS thing, then the actual web hosting. So my DNS server is 192.168.80.201. It's my DNS server, and its webmin is colon 10,000. Okay, hit enter. This shall come up. Then give your username and password. I had already tried it before, that's why Chrome autofilled it. Then login. Then in the servers tab here, click on bind DNS server. Please take note that I'm using 192.168.80.201, the DNS servers webmin. I'm not using the web servers, I'm using the DNS servers. Please take into notice this one. It's very very important. You have to use a DNS server for the first part. Then click on this, scroll down to edit DNS zone. Click on, as you can see, it's edit DNS zone, and my DNS server is 0.201, so it makes sense. Then click create master zone. Then domain name, I'm going to give my domain name codeworks.com, let's say, and master zone would be DNS dot codeworks. It should be DNS dot your website name. My website name is codeworks.com, dns.codeworks.com, and email ID would be example, any email ID you want. I'm going to use a demo fake email ID. Then click create. After this, edit master zone, this page opens up. Then click on address, and for the first part leave it blank. The second part leave okay. Now address record, it means the it would record the address of the web server. This is the address of the web server. Okay, the address records means the address of the web server means for example codeworks.com, where would it go searching for codeworks.com, where are the files for codeworks.com. It's asking for that address. It would keep a record of it, that's why it's address records. And it's my web server's IP address is 192.168.80.200. as you can see here, it states here web server is 0.200 and DNS is 0.201. so my web server's IP address is 0.200. It's very important to create. After this, the usual process, click DNS here. I'm sorry, not click, type DNS here, and for the address, as you can see, it's the DNS server's IP address. This is DNS address records, address record of DNS server's IP address. Now what's the DNS server's IP address? And DNS server's IP address is 192.168.80.201. This is the DNS server's IP address. As you can see here, I stated here DNS server is 0.201, and I'm doing it's asking for DNS server. That's why to give the IP address of DNS server, and it's 0.201, and click create. Okay, it's very important. This you must take into consideration. My main website's IP address is 0.200, and the DNS service is 0.201. I click this return to zone list and do I keep saying this over and over again. It won't harm you to click on apply changes a few times, but if you don't, it may cause some problem. Okay, I missed something actually here. Let's open our terminals. um this is actually my Linux terminal. Since I did telnet, it's actually my Linux terminal. I can issue any command here. Let's see if I can increase the size a bit. um, um, I guess I'll try it the next time. Okay, you don't need much here. Okay, and I'm going to read out everything. This is 192.168.80.201, and 201 means DNS server. For the DNS server, the HTTP service should be stopped, because the DNS server won't be hosting a website. For a website, it's HTTP, and it should be stopped for a DNS server. So you should write this command: service httpd stop. Again, and this is DNS server dot 201. This is a DNS server, and for DNS server, they don't need to host the website, so the HTTP protocol should be stopped. The protocol, actually the service, the HTTP service should be stopped. Hit enter. It says stopping HTTP failed. Why failed? Because it's already stopped. I have stopped it before. STATUS. Now do something. Service HTTPD status. Hit enter, and as you can see here, it says HTTPD is stopped. Now let's jump to our web server, and it's web server because it's 0.200. For web server, I don't need the DNS job is done by DNS server, and for web server the DNS should be stopped. So service named stop. The service name for DNS server, the service name for DNS is named. The service name for HTTP is HTTPD. Now for the HTTP, for a web server, the HTTP service should be running. So what you can do is service HTTPD start, or rather restart. Okay, this thing you should do actually. What I said is, for a DNS server, stop HTTP service, and for a web server, stop DNS service. For DNS server, start DNS service. Similarly, for a web server, start HTTP service. You can also check what are the services running by doing this nmap localhost. Nmap localhost shows all the services. As you can see, 80/TCP HTTP is running, and there's nothing as DNS, so DNS is not running. And do same thing on the DNS server. Nmap localhost, as you can see, HTTP is not running here, but domain is running. This is TCP, this is DNS, so it's running. So let's clear this, and let's get back to our discussion. Now in your web server, I'm in the DNS server right now. In your web server, what I had been doing is, I'm going to create a I had been creating a user with the same name as website name, and I'm going to make changes. It's the same process. This does not change here. Okay, so let's begin. User add. User add. My website's name is Codeworks. So user add Codeworks. Enter the password. PSSWD Codeworks. Okay, now enter any password you want. Then move to or change directory to home, because all the folders of the users are present there. You may do a ls to check. As you can see, Codeworks exists here. It's right here. Okay, Codeworks is here. Then after this, change mod to 770 of Codeworks. Okay, then change group to Apache of Codeworks. Okay, then go into Codeworks, make the index.html file. I'm going to write in the in my main web page. Actually, I will just write Codeworks, just like that, Codeworks, or like hi Codeworks, like this. And I'm going to make the file. The file name should be index.html. It should be index. And this is done. Then let's do service httpd restart restart. Don't make a spelling mistake here. Restart. Okay, this is done. Now this webmin is of the DNS server. It says 0.201. Now you have to open the webmin of the web server 192.168.8.200:110,100,000 login. It's very important for binding the DNS. It's a DNS server, but for hosting the website, it's a web server. Click on Apache web server here, scroll down, create a new virtual server, the specific address, the address of your web server 192.168.80.200. That's the address of my web server. Document root, click on this button, go to home, click on Codeworks here. Okay, the path is set here. Now the server name is codeworks.com. okay, this is subset done. Then click create now. Then click on this apply changes. Let's cross our fingers and hope that it opens up. Codeworks.com. okay, it's not opening up. No problem. Do apply changes a few more times. Eventually it will start. It's okay. At times it does not start instantly. And stop the server, start the server. 1200, okay. Then refresh. Okay, as you can see, it opened up now. Hi Codeworks. It says hi Codeworks. Okay, so this opened up. So this is how you can host a website having two different servers, one DNS server and one web server. This is all for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and do hit like and do share it with your friends. Thank you.